I think if we expect to control the process, we're going to have to give them quite a bit of guidance. But it's that flipping of the emphasis. Instead of teaching a learner the scenario, we're going to take a principle and we're going to think about practical applications of that principle using snippets from the scenarios or other snippets of exercises and drills and things that we could help the learner understand what we're about.
Yeah, right.
So the one we were mentioning was maybe the one we just talked to the instructors about, which was yaw, roll, and pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And we were having this conversation in there about practically where would you maybe and how would you maybe think about working with somebody to discuss that in
Mm-hmm.
terms of the principle. And they came up with, and we suggested things like takeoff roll, just in any general aviation airplane that we see so many times. As power is added, the immediate action is to put in right aileron. You know, we're going to stop the left turning tendency with aileron instead of with rudder. So there's an exercise in both the yaw control and the roll that happens. Another one we mentioned would be a go around, where the airplane pitches up suddenly. Mm-hmm. The pilot doesn't add sufficient right rudder, so the airplane begins to yaw to the left and begins to roll to the left. Another one is power on stalls that we talked about. That if you watch power on stalls happen a lot, particularly out in turning stalls, mm-hmm. that quite often the learner doesn't employ anywhere near enough rudder to keep the yaw under control. So these are all illustrations and ways that you can hit the pause button and have a conversation with them about the control of yaw using the rudder and the fact that there's these other responses that occur with the inducement of roll when the rudder isn't employed properly. So we could probably come up with a handful or more of exercises if we wanted to talk about the roll component or the pitch component or the yaw component.